welcome. You might notice things are a tiny bit different today. I have had this the entire time, but I've just deployed for the first time the Tascam tripod. Well, the first time on the table. I think I used it in the bucket video, but I don't remember if I called specific attention to it, so I am this time. I have a cute little tripod for my Tascam. And you might notice that I am working with precious little space between the camera and the Tascam. I can actually touch both at the same time, which is why we don't use this very often. At some point I might get a lower one that allows me to have more clearance, but for the time being I don't really want to spend much more money on this brand new hobby, so we're gonna ride with what we got, and we're gonna be creative, because sometimes, no, not sometimes, limitations are what breed creativity in many cases. So today's item is really big, so what we're gonna do is move this way back so that I can tilt the Tascam, because this is on a ball joint, really angularly down. I don't know if you can really get a perspective for that. There you go, something like that. And I'm going to put the big honkin' chonkus on the table, and we're gonna pray that nothing like falls or flips or anything. I gotta come in from this. What? No, actually I can go overhead. You ready for this? Get it perfectly centered. I would like to welcome to the channel the Meat Maker 9000. Let's get real up in there for these slathery, slappy, delicious chalk sounds. I am not moving or manipulating this thing at all in this video. We're going to leave this where it is. If we want to do anything, which we probably won't, because I think this is sufficient, we'll move the Tascam itself, because this is asking for severe problems if you want to pick this up and put this down on my silly flimsy little rig a bunch of times. So more or less from here on out we're switching to no talking, and you're just gonna listen to the nice little slappy noises and scratchy noises this dude makes in extremely high fidelity. So kick back, relax, put yourself in a position that is most enabling of comfort, and enjoy as you choose to this ASMR presentation of the Meat Maker 9000. I guess it should be the Meat Maker 2000, because it's the Meat Maker 2000 now. Okay, it's a little too close. I keep slapping it. That's not a bad idea. I am literally in a closet, as I've said about 1,000,000 times, a really, really big closet. There's all kinds of delicious fabric on either side of me. So I'm going to purposefully and intentionally brush and bump the shirts as I do this. This side is a little duller in sound. Let's scoot a couple of the more textured shirts down so they're in range. See, this is what I'm talking about, where limitations breed creativity. I am incredibly limited in space, so I'm using the textures of the room I'm in. That is artistry. See the camera's wiggling a lot. I hope in post this looks like haptic feedback, because that'd be really funny. It's just like you're just seeing this big thing and it's just making the camera bounce because it's like, oh, it's here. It is. It is here. And you cannot ignore it because it is big and heavy. Burden of humanity, the human condition, heavy and I said no talking. Really thick rubber, so when you drop it on your foot, it doesn't bust all the way through, it only just breaks all your bones. That's actually not a bad idea. That's a more comfortable way to do that. So let's get that back in the frame. Rotating it did nothing. It was more the moving it backwards. You know what? Actually, let's even elevate this a tiny bit more, because it's got these legs that you can increase and decrease its height with, and then you can angle it down even more, like really get in there. You know what? Let's even put it up one click higher. This thing's kind of a piece of junk. These legs don't stay. that's probably the thumbnail right there. What's the time mark? 12. Alright. Intermission to let you know that these are only like 25 or 30 bucks on Amazon or Walmart, and it's really fun to sit on your couch and just do like isolated curls and pretend you're like going monkey mode with it, boy. It's a really good way to just add some definition to your arms, and it's actually like painless and fun. You can just like every time you sit down just do 5 on each arm. It will add up. It's enjoyable. You look good in no time. Mix this bad boy right here with the tiniest little bit of creatine. Maybe a smidgen of BCAAs. Boom. Gains. Thinking about doing earlier, and then it gave me a better, different idea. But nothing says I can't do both at once. Let's get these creaks out of the way. Okay. right the first time. If you're on a photo shoot, just get the photos you need. Don't take some stuff and then be like, oh yeah, we can just edit this in later. No, it's always better to just get it right the first time. Take some photos and think, oh, I'll just change the colors in Photoshop. No, just buy lights and stuff and do it the right way. Post is not that good. It can be, but it's just not worth the effort most of the time when you could have just done it right from the beginning in the field. I said no talking, never. No, that is something that you can take out and post very, very easily. And if I decide to do that, I'm going to cut this part out so you don't know I did that. And I'll have to go back and cut every part about the camera being all bobby, though. Warakanada. Frick it. I don't know if I've really shown this off. My headphone cable. It's braided with an absolute ton of wires. I have studio monitors, so it's supposedly useful to have these higher fidelity cables, but I don't know what that means. It could be absolute. I can't think of a non-swear word for it. Just snake oil. Could be snake oil. I don't know if you realize that or not, but I have a really hard time not swearing a lot. It's just part of my personality. I've always been a filthy potty mouth, and I'm trying really hard to not swear as much, or at least catch them and censor them for YouTube. Very narrow. What you saw at the edges of the camera was pretty much the edge of the board. So I had a lot of limitations. This new piece of wood is significantly bigger. It gives me a lot of opportunity to do these kind of things. Slightly larger, more experimental sound stages. I couldn't have done anything with this tripod kind of setup with the old way I was doing it, because it was just so, what's the word, non-permissive could knock your whole table over. sweaty.